What's up guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Bella and today I have another makeup video for you guys. I know it's been a long time since I posted and I want to apologize for that. I've been really busy with school and I just got my new puppies, so I've been taking care of them and I've just been kind of busy, so I haven't really had time to sit down and film or edit a video, but I'm finally getting to film for you guys today. And I'm super excited because I haven't filmed a makeup video in a long time. I've been doing a lot of vlogs. So if you guys are interested in seeing my go-to makeup routine, then please keep on watching. Alright, so I already moisturized my face and I used my CeraVe moisturizer. I'm going to put my hair back now because I don't like my hair in my face when I do my makeup. Also, you may notice my quality is a little bit different. I'm using my camera today because I finally got my mic stand in the mail. But I've actually been working on trying to get a studio for myself in the house that me and my family live in. So we'll see. I may upgrade, you know, the little setup soon. Right now I'm filming in my bedroom, but that's besides the point. I'm gonna get into my makeup routine now because I've been doing my makeup a little bit different and I think you guys have been liking it, so I'm gonna go ahead and show you and hopefully you don't get bored. Alright, so to start off, I'm gonna be priming my skin and I'm gonna be using the Urban Decay All Nighter primer, and I like this primer because when you apply it, it feels really soothing, I guess you could say. It's really thick and creamy, but it's not like a nasty feeling on your skin the way a product like this consistency would normally feel. All right, so now that that is applied, I'm gonna go ahead and move on to brows. I've been doing my brows a little bit differently lately. I've just been filling them in a little bit lighter, that way they don't look as blocky. So I want you guys to ignore the grease on this palette, but I use the BH Cosmetics Eyebrow Powder Palette. This is not for sale anymore, but honestly I feel like brow powders are kind of universal almost. You could even use eyeshadow, so you know, make whatever products you have work. I'm gonna zoom you guys in a little bit. Alright, so I've been starting more in the tail of my brow where I have the biggest bald spots, I guess you could say, and then I'll just fill those in, and I focus most of the product in the tail, and I kind of try to just avoid the front because my brows are naturally full in the front, and once I conceal them they look pretty filled in. So I'm just gonna tap in this spot right here because I have a big gap on my brow. I'll be back when I'm done with that. Alright, so I'm finished with both the right and the left side of my eyebrows, but now I'm gonna go ahead and conceal them. And to conceal my brows, I like to use the Too Faced Born This Way concealer, and this one's in the shade Almond, and I like to use a little flat brush like this, that way I can get as clean a line as possible. I'm gonna speed through this process really quick because I think it's pretty self-explanatory if you watch someone do it, so yeah. Now that the brows are completely finished, I can move on to spot concealing, which I've just been doing because I have a few spots. I'm going to use my Too Faced concealer to do this. I love this concealer, it has amazing coverage. And I just like to use a little foundation brush to do this. This is a Morphe Y6 brush. Sorry, Y8. And I love this brush. It applies my foundation amazing. So just blend it out. Now that I'm done spot concealing, I'm gonna put a little bit of powder over that because I don't want it to move around when I put my foundation on top of it. That's kind of the whole point, is for it to stay where it's at. I'm gonna get some Laura Mercier, and with kind of a fluffy brush I'm just gonna pat this over. I don't want to have too much powder on my face, but I'm just gonna apply this where I put the concealer at. Alright, so now I'm going to be moving on to foundation, and I'm going to be using the Maybelline Super Stay Foundation. This one's in the shade 128 Warm Nude. The shade is actually a little bit dark for me, but once I put my concealer and my powder and everything on, I think it looks okay. So I'm going to be using this one today, and I am like a 3-pump kind of girl for this foundation. So I'm just gonna take my finger and dab it onto my face because that's what I always do, and I always save some for my neck and my jawline because I always forget my jawline. And the sponge that I'm using is from Araceli Beauty. I really like this sponge. It is really soft, and this foundation is probably my favorite drugstore foundation. So if you guys are wondering whether or not you should buy it, I think you should buy it because it makes my skin look good. A little bit on the more expensive side of drugstore foundations, but believe me, you're paying for the quality that you get because it's amazing. And next for concealer, I like to use two concealers. I like to use the Too Faced Born This Way concealer, and I also like to use the e.l.f. 16-hour camo concealer, and the e.l.f. one is in the shade Fair Warm, and my Too Faced one is just in the same shade Almond that I've been using. So I like to do the Too Faced one first, and I'll do kind of more of this one than I do the other one because the other one's really light. So I use that as like a final brightener when I'm done. I'm just gonna quickly blend this out. That way I can show you guys how I apply the ColourPop concealer over top. So what is this? Once I have that Too Faced concealer blended out, I'll go in with this e.l.f. concealer, which is really, really, really light. It's like almost white. It looks white on camera, but I just put a little bit of that there and blend it out into the inner corners. And that's the difference. It just really brightens up the under eye a lot more. After I apply my concealer, I like to take the little Laura Mercier powder puff and I'll just pack this right underneath my eyes directly where like I have the most wrinkles, and I feel like this just really helps, you know, keep my makeup as smooth as possible. So I'm just gonna go ahead and blend this out because as you can see it creased. I'm gonna take the rest of the powder and pat it into my face, and I use a lot of powder because it makes my makeup look really smooth and it makes it last a long time, especially since I have oily skin, so that's a must for me. I like to go over my eyebrows as well because they will sweat, especially in Arizona. And I'll just pack in this powder until you really can't see it on my face anymore. Now that I'm done with, you know, kind of my foundation and my base, my powder, whatever you want to call it, I'm going to move on to doing my eyeliner. And I like to do this before I do my blush and my bronzer because if I need to conceal the eyeliner, the concealer will blend much better into a blank canvas rather than if I had bronzer and, you know, all my other cheek products on already. Before I throw my eyeliner on, I'm going to put a little bit of the MAC Give Me Sun bronzer into my crease just because I feel like it's going to add a nice little element of color. So I'm just going to take this on a blending brush and in the outer corner, I'm going to blend this up into my crease. And it's really nothing special, and you can see it's not that big of a difference. Also, please don't mind all the lash glue on my lashes. That's my business. And I like to take this and drag it out. All right, so that's pretty much it for that part. Now I'm going to do the eyeliner, and I'm going to be using the Anastasia liquid liner. This is kind of one of the only ones that I have that works right now because a lot of my other ones are dried out. Yeah, I'm going to show you guys how I do my eyeliner because I got questions on my TikTok video that I made about it, so figured you guys might want to see too. So I'll start here on the outer edge and just drag it out, and I'll bring it about like almost to where I want it, but not quite because I still have to make the end sharp. So I'll just bring it out to about like right here. And then to make sure that they're as even as possible, I like to go ahead and do the other same line but on the other eye. So I'm gonna, you know what, this lash glue is so ugly on here, girl. That's what I get. All right, guys, that was not supposed to happen. I'm gonna try to clean this up before it dries. That's hilarious. That would happen to me. I'm just gonna take my Too Faced concealer and fix that really quick. So don't mind me. You know what? Kind of looks like it didn't even happen. All right, let's move on from that. Like I was saying, I'm just gonna go in and make, you know, the same line on the other eye as symmetrical as I possibly can. So I just look and kind of guesstimate it. Is that even? Not really. But so far I just make those two lines right there, and then I'll drag the next line that I make from the outer edge of this liner and bring it in like this. Let me show you guys. Was that focused on my mirror the whole time? Okay, so then I'm gonna fill that in, and that looks really bad. And so now that I have this little wing, I'm gonna drag it out on the top of here, and I'm just gonna flick it until I have the right sharpness that I want. And as you can see, it's definitely not perfect, so I'm gonna go in and conceal that because it does not look cute. Let's just give me a moment to fix this before I throw a fit. All right, well, that was really annoying, and about 15 minutes later I'm done fixing it. I'm just gonna try to match this, and then I connect it. All right, so that's looking a little bit more how I want it to look. I'm gonna go ahead and match up the inner corners and make the left side a little bit thicker, and I think it'll look good. So Alright, next up in my makeup routine is going to be bronzer, and I like to use the MAC Give Me Sun. I was using a different one for a long time, and I just switched back to this one because I did not want to repurchase it. It was a lot of money. I think it's like $32, $34, something like that. I like to take it on a really big bronzer brush like this, and I'll squeeze the brush and put it into like my cheekbone area, and then just blend that out. And I focus most of the product back here into this space, and then I'll just lightly bring it to the front and blend it up as I go. And I'll bring that onto my jawline and kind of just all over my face, bring back color since my concealer is really light. And then of course I do the hairline. So I'm just gonna apply some powder to help clean up my bronzer, and this is gonna sit while I do my nose contour. I'm gonna use the same bronzer for my nose contour. I always use the same bronzer for my nose contour as I use for my face contour, since I don't really use an actual contour powder. But I like to put the most product down here on the bottom of my nose, and I'll just go back and forth in little circular motions and make sure I really pack it up here on the sides. And I'm just using like a regular crease brush for this. You guys can use any fluffy brush. All right, so now that I have my nose contour done, I'm gonna take my Maybelline Fit Me loose powder, and this one's in the shade 10. I really like this powder. Best drugstore loose powder that I've ever used. So then I'll just do this on my nose, make a little button shape, and I'll let that sit. And I don't normally let the nose powder sit too long, so when I'm done wiping off the cheek powder, I'll just go ahead and wipe off the nose powder right after. You don't really need to leave it that long since it is a pigmented powder. And you can see what I mean here. It already left like a big pigment spot. So if that happens, I'll just take a more dense brush and pat it in and, you know, just keep blending. Next for blush, I'm going to be using my favorite, and this is from Note Cosmetics. It's really old, as you can see by the label, but this one is in the shade Desert Rose. If you look up their brand on Google, Note Cosmetics, you should be able to find this product. Yeah, I'm just gonna take a little fluffy brush and apply this. I like to apply my blush going upwards, that way it helps shape my cheekbones. Put a little bit on my chin as well, and I always like to go over the bronzer on my nose. And this is also an optional step, but I like to go back into the Frankie Rose palette, and I'll use the shade Dollface, which is this like middle vanilla shade for highlighting, and I'll go underneath my eyes. All right, so final step before lashes, I'm going to be using this Benefit Cookie highlighter, and this is a new addition to my makeup routine. I really like it because it's pretty reflective without, you know, having to use too much product. I'm gonna take a little dome brush and apply this to my inner corners. I do my nose, my inner corner, my cupid's bow, my brow bones. Go in and blend that out with my finger. So let me just apply this. And I like to start with a small amount because, as you can see, it comes off pretty shiny. So I keep it in a small area and then try to blend out the edges. I'm gonna do this side, and for this side, since my hand doesn't really sit the same way as it does on this side, I'm gonna hold my brush upside down like this. And I like to go in with my blush brush after that and just blend out this area right here where my blush sits. Alright, so the next step is going to be lashes, and I'm going to be using some Lily lashes today. Here's what those look like. Alright, so before applying my lashes, I just quickly put on some mascara, and I used this is the Bad Gal Bang mascara, and it's from Benefit. I really like this mascara. It does a good job at making my eyelashes long. Like I said, I'm going to be using these Lily lashes, and I went on the website. I could not find what style these were. These look the most similar to the style Hollywood, so I'm just going to put this here, and you guys can screenshot that because I really don't know the name of these. It has a sticker on the box, but I know for a fact that that is not the pair in here because I changed the boxes, which is really stupid of me. I'm just gonna go ahead and use my duo glue. This is the clear brush on glue. I prefer this glue over any other glue. All right, so I'll just look down, kind of like I hover it over my lash line, see where I want the lash to sit at, and then once I'm comfortable with the placement, I'll just go ahead and place it down like this onto the center of my eye, and those look really ginormous. And then I drag the outer edge of the lash band, and then I'll take the inner corner and place it down. I'm placing this as close to my lash line as possible because I don't like when they sit higher up than my lash line. And during this whole drying process, I just take the tweezers and reinforce the edges because the edges like to pop up when the glue is dry. So I just go ahead and place that down, and I'll just poke it like this. I know you guys are probably nervous watching me do this, but I do it all the time. Yeah, that's really all the tips I have for you guys. Once you apply lashes more frequently, it will become more of a natural thing to you, and you won't have to struggle as much, because I know I struggled a lot when I started doing makeup. Alright, so that's what the lashes look like on, and it is a completely different look than without the lashes. They make me feel like a doll, and I'm gonna leave the bottom with no mascara because I feel like it just makes my eyes look bigger. So the next step of my makeup would be lips, and then the final step would be the setting spray. So I'm gonna show you guys my lip combo really quick and then put some setting spray on, and I'll be back with my hair done. So for lips, I'm gonna be using my NYX Nude Truffle Lip Liner and my NYX Nutmeg Eyeliner. This is, like I said, right now an eyeliner, but I will use it as a lip liner because it works the same. So I'm gonna put this on. All right, my camera died, so I'm sorry about the placement if it's off a little bit, but I'm just gonna take the shade Nude Truffle and overline my lips a tad bit. I just go right above my natural lip line, and that usually looks good, but I won't go over up here on this side. I'll just keep it overlined up here on my cupid's bow. Alright, so I kind of filled in my lips with that color, and I peeled off a lot of dry skin, which is why they are bleeding. That's a reminder to use chapstick, kids. So now I'm going to go in with this nutmeg shade, and I'm going to further outline the edges. And this is just going to help add some more dimension to my lips and make them not look as, you know, flat. And I focus this one a little bit more on my cupid's bow and like down here on the bottom of my lip. And I'm gonna take this little Essence lipstick. This is in the shade 15. They don't sell this anymore, but it's just a nude lipstick, and I would normally use my NYX Dainty Days lipstick, but I actually don't know where that's at, so I'm just using this one instead. This is really similar to the NYX one, so yeah, if you guys want a lipstick like this color, get the NYX Dainty Days Soft Matte Lip Suede lipstick, I think is what it's called. So I just put that kind of in the middle, and then take the Nude Truffle shade again and go around the edges. All right, now we can set the face. For my setting spray, I'm going to be taking this Pixi Glow Setting Skin Mist, and this one has like oils in it, so it helps make your makeup kind of dewy. Kind of stupid to use since I have oily skin, but I like to look dewy, so I'm going to use this. You make sure you shake it up. All right, that's the finished face. So I'm gonna come back with my hair done, and you guys will see the final look put together. All right, here is the final makeup look. I feel really pretty now, and I really like my hair like this. If you guys want a tutorial on how I do my hair like this, just let me know. I've done one before, but I think now I do it a little bit differently, and I really like how it looks, especially my long hair. So alright guys, well that brings me to the end of today's video. It felt so good and relaxing to sit down and film a video for you guys since I haven't done it in forever, and it honestly feels like I'm just talking to you right now live, even though I'm talking to my camera. I just want to say thank you guys so much for watching today's video. Please be sure to check out some of the links I have in my description as always. With that being said, I also want to remind you guys to vote. Please vote. I'm not gonna tell you who to vote for, but just don't vote for the big orange clown and we'll be good. And on that note, I want to remind you guys to stay informed on recent events and keep yourself updated, keep yourself educated on what's going on, especially in the election, because this election I think is a little bit more important than other elections are, considering the circumstances, considering the fact that the safety of many Americans is at stake. So make sure you're making the right choice this election, please. And yeah, with that being said, I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.